going on, everybody? It's your boy Questex. I'm coming at you right now. Just as you can hear in the background, I'm watching the Golovkin versus Kell Brook. HBO has, their boxing best. Pretty much them showing the year's 2016's best boxing matches. And it's ironic that as I begin to watch this video or this fight, let me put it that way, of Kell Brook versus Gennady Golovkin. I felt the need that I wanted to do a video about Danny Jacobs versus Golovkin, which is coming up in March, my birthday month. And I think that Danny Jacobs is going to deliver me probably one of the best birthday gifts I could ever ask for. A lot of people want to look at it and they want to say that we can't assess what Kell Brook, the success that Kell Brook had against Gennady Golovkin, and say that Danny Jacobs will have that same or similar success. And I actually challenge him on that one. I think that one of the things that stood out to me versus Gennady Golovkin and Kell Brook was the tendencies that Kell Brook was able to expose about Golovkin. It was not so much that Golovkin couldn't throw a punch properly, because that's not even a question. Golovkin is a highly skilled offensive fighter. He has great footwork, but his tendencies are going to be the thing that gets his ass whipped and when he fights legitimate middleweights. And by tendencies, I mean there are certain things that I've noticed that Golovkin does, and he did this fighting the Willie Monroes. He did this fighting the David Lemieux. When he tends to, he's what I call a load shooter. But I mean is that he will unleash a barrage of offensive punches, and then he waits to see and assess the situation. Then he has to reset, and then he goes again. The problem that he had against Kell Brook was that every time he unloaded his shots, that critical time he needs to reset and reassess, Kell Brook, because of his natural rhythm and natural ability and shot variation, okay, I want to highlight that shot variation disrupt everything that Golovkin could do. That's why I believe, and this is just my opinion here. Again, I know we've heard many stories about the alleged sparring session between Canelo and Golovkin and how that went. And many people, just depending on who you speak to, will tell you that Canelo was getting in their ass. And one of the talents that Canelo has is punch variation. He throws punches from different angles, and he's able to mix it up. Golovkin seems like, to me, he's a rhythm fighter in that if he knows where and what speed the punches is coming, he's going to have greater success. But if you're able to vary the speeds on the punches, if you're able to vary the angles on punches, he can't anticipate them. And this is what gives me and leads me to believe that I believe that Danny Jacobs is going to have a greater shot at really hurting Golovkin, because if Golovkin has zero head movement, it's something that Paulie Malignaggi pointed out several fights prior to his fight with Kell Brook, and Kell Brook just exposed it. And I think that this is one of the biggest reasons why, again, I've always been very honest about how I see this. If your team doesn't put you in the ring with guys who are going to test every aspect of what you know how to do, there's a reason why. It's because they know that if you were in the ring with somebody who was able to push you, they're going to show you that, and not, when I mean show you, I mean the boxing crowd, that this guy is not who we think he is. Do I think Golovkin has power? Absolutely, yes, 100%. Does he have devastating power? I would say yes, but I think Kell Brook also, and again, not trying to use the measuring stick, but Kell Brook is a welterweight, guys. He's a pretty big welterweight. But when you watch that fight, it's clear as day who is the bigger, solid guy, and that is Golovkin. And there were shots that Golovkin landed completely flush. They weren't rolled. They were on point contact shots, and Kell Brook was able to basically shrug it off as if it was nothing. A lot of people want to question Danny Jacobs' chin. Well, to the credit of my brother, the Black Fight Fan TV, please go check his videos out. He put it out there for you. Danny Jacobs has only been knocked out by one fighter, and that fighter just so happened to want to be knocking on Golovkin's door, but he injured himself, unfortunately, and this is the way this sport is. It's brutal. Sometimes you're on top, sometimes you're on the bottom, but unfortunately, Priag couldn't get a shot at Golovkin. And I'm going to be honest with you, I just think the more mentally tougher fighter is Danny Jacobs. I think that what's going to end up happening is if Golovkin doesn't put any doubt in Danny Jacobs, it's going to be a wrap for Gennady Golovkin. Here's the thing about this fight in microcosm, what needs to happen. Danny Jacobs needs to jump on Gennady Golovkin, and he needs to make sure Golovkin understands that this is his house. You're not going to come into his house with this mystique and aura that you have. And I don't know. I've been watching Dante's Boxing Nation. I've been watching his interviews with Danny Jacobs. And I like what I'm seeing so far from Danny Jacobs. I'm liking the confidence. I think that there's a reason why a lot of middleweights were calling Golovkin out after the Kell Brook fight. I think that you guys need to understand there's a reason why Canelo offered Golovkin what he did, and then Golovkin's team turned it down. They're looking to maximize their dollar because they know if they come away with that L, which they probably will, based on just boxing ability and the fact that, Canelo can crack, I think there's something to this where people who are doubting Danny Jacobs are being a bit foolish. As this fight gets closer, I will be doing other videos breaking down what I think technically Danny Jacobs needs to do. But for me, you guys know where I stand. I believe, honest to God, I really do see this shit happening. I see Danny Jacobs shocking a lot of people. Danny can box. Danny, when he uses a jab, he has a good jab. Danny is going to go in there, and I think that Danny is going to really, really have a lot of people's mouths wide open in the first few rounds. And I think that if it gets past round 4 or 5, Golovkin is going to have a problem. It's your boy Quest X. I am out. Peace.